Hi there, and welcome to this video where I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite songs from Harry Styles. But I do want to make it clear that this is just my top 10 favorite songs from his first album, Harry Styles, and his second album, Fine Line. I am filming this only a couple weeks before Harry's House is released, and I wanted to film a version of this now, right before Harry's House was released, because I have a strong feeling that this album is going to completely reconfigure this entire top 10 list. And another reason why I wanted to film this is because I've made a few videos about Harry Styles in the past, and I will be honest, they are not anywhere near my most viewed videos, like not even close. But I do feel like more people are jumping on board the Harry Styles train. And I've been waiting for this moment. I personally have been a fan of Harry since the One Direction days, and I was always very excited for his solo career. And I am very excited that I believe more people are finally realizing all he brings to the table, as not just in his music, but just as his artistry and the way he carries himself. So I wanted to do my top 10 favorite / most played songs from his first two albums. And then maybe in a year or so, I will film this again where I will include the songs from Harry's House. I'm going to go from 10 to 1 and just talk a little bit about each song. So if you're interested in my top 10 list of Harry Styles songs, please keep watching, and I would love to know what your top 10 favorite songs by him are as well in the comments below. Harry Styles' first album was very much so like a nod to 70s rock, which just settles so well with me because that is an era of music I absolutely adore. So naturally, I was a fan of the debut album, and at number 10 is the song Kiwi. Kiwi's just a banger. That's all it is. It's memorable. It gets stuck in your head. The music video involves puppies. Not that that matters, but I just felt like it needed to be mentioned. But I think Kiwi is also such a fun song live. I've seen him live a couple times now, and it is always just a very fun way to end the show. And I just appreciate that like true solid headbanger rock moment on that album. Number 9 is also from the first album, and that is Meet Me in the Hallway. And I think that that might be one that might surprise some people, but I have always loved Meet Me in the Hallway because it has a little bit more uniqueness to it. I think the guitar is so memorable on it, and I love the kind of like distant effects on the vocal, and it's a very like soft vocal on the verses, and then he projects out more during the choruses, so it just feels kind of cool. Like it's a very like chill, kind of cool, a little bit distant, which is definitely on purpose. If you listen to the lyrics of the song, it makes complete sense. Meet Me in the Hallway, when I first heard it, was just like a little bit unexpected, and I think that's why I've always just really liked that song. And it's another one that I really liked hearing him perform live. Like it was one of those songs that my appreciation for it grew even more after hearing it live. Now we're going on to some songs from Fine Line, and number 8 is Cherry. I love Cherry. I've always loved it. I think the good, slow songs from Harry Styles are just as great as the bops that he produces. And I think Cherry's just very vulnerable. I think that was kind of the first time I realized that Harry was being very open and direct with his own personal life and his lyrics. Not saying it never happened before, but that one was very, very forward, very touching, and it's just a beautiful ballad. It's nothing that's like too complex or overly produced. In my opinion, it is just right. And I love the ending of the song. I think it has a very nice like build at the end with his ad libs. It's just beautiful. Number 7 is the other, probably the most popular slow song from Fine Line, and it is the piano ballad Falling. You just can't not love that song. It's wonderful performed live. It is right in Harry Styles' like sweet spot with his tone, I think. and like notes that he projects out very, very well when he's singing. So it's just a beautiful, sad love ballad. And it's one of those that I think for many years to come will probably remain on his set list because it is the ultimate like sway back and forth song in a crowd. So it's just gorgeous. And if you've never seen the music video for it, it's very artistic, very sad, but just beautiful. So I'd highly recommend checking it out. Number 6 was like an ultimate moment for me from Fine Line, and that is She. It was kind of what I was hoping for on Harry Styles. Like I felt like the song She could have belonged on his first album, but regardless, I loved that it was on Fine Line because it was like that very just solid 70s style rock. Like I'm thinking Pink Floyd, kind of David Bowie-esque. Lyrically, it's a beautiful storytelling song and I love the lyrics of it. But musically, it really is just focusing on the band, and it allows the band members to shine a lot too. I mean, Harry Styles has a really great band, and I loved getting to see Mitch Rowland, his main guitarist and collaborator on albums, have a wonderful guitar solo moment. Harry obviously sounds great on his vocals, but She's focus for me is not his vocal. It is everything happening in the music arrangement. She is all about the production and music arrangement. I will say from the lyrics and the music, Harry's actual vocal is more so on the back burner for me when I listen to that song, but I still love it just as much. Like I just feel like the purpose of that song is to let other elements that make up a song shine. Number 5 is from his debut album, and it is the song Only Angel. I love this song. I think it's so fun and so catchy, and it's definitely about a kind of like, not necessarily a forbidden love, maybe more so a fling. Definitely not about like this very serious, in-depth relationship, but it's just fun, total rocker vibes. I call it his Mick Jagger moment, and it I think has a beautiful intro that kind of sets you up for something grand, and it just suits that album very well, but it just gets stuck in my head and I love singing along to it, and I love Harry's vocal on it. It's a very good spot for his voice. Number 4, I would say number 4 through 1, this is where it was very challenging to decide the order of the next 4 songs. Hopefully I don't regret this. Number 4, I put Adore You. Adore You, as soon as I heard it for the first time, I knew was meant to be a single. And to be honest, I am so surprised that Adore You wasn't more popular than Watermelon Sugar. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't have Watermelon Sugar on my list, and I know that that's probably Harry's most popular song to date. Like, I genuinely love all of Harry Styles' songs, so I have no issue with Watermelon Sugar, but it's just, I really thought Adore You would be the popular radio hit. I mean, it's not that it wasn't, but I thought it would be the big, big one. And I just think it's such like a good, addictive pop, cool, kind of alt pop rock kind of vibe, and it's just so catchy. Like, it is meant for the radio, but not in a way that I find to be bothersome. And I think that it's an adorable lyric. I mean, just let me adore you is a wonderful line to just sing out. And the visual for Adore You, it is such a weird music video. It's kind of longer, but it felt very accurately Harry Styles when I first saw it. So definitely give it a watch if you have not seen it. Number 3 is the single that started his solo career, Sign of the Times. Sign of the Times musically, honestly, I should put it number 1, but I'm just basing this off of like what I have found myself listening to the most through the years. Sign of the Times blew me away when I first heard it because it was like everything I had hoped to first hear from Harry Styles when he was going to embark on a solo career after One Direction. it was pretty much spot on with Sign of the Times. And I was so happy because I could just sense that with his voice and some of the lyrics he helped with during his time in One Direction. And like me just loving 70s rock, I was like, man, it would be really cool if he just laid hard into that vibe. And then he did. And it is a beautiful message. Like, I think the lyrics are timeless for Sign of the Times. And I love when lyrics tell a story, but it's not necessarily a love story. Like, it's a bigger picture sort of a theme. I love the build. It's a very slow build throughout that song. And the ending is just so overwhelmingly powerful musically and vocally. It's just a truly gorgeous way to start a solo career. It's just beautiful. Like, it feels like a very timeless sort of song to me. Number 2 is the first single from Fine Line, and that is Lights Up, which I would say commercially was his least successful single from this album, which doesn't surprise me, but boy, did I love Lights Up. And I have never stopped loving Lights Up. I think that it is just so cool. The drums, the beat from the drums is just so good on Lights Up. And I really just love the overall production of that and the layered vocals and backing vocals. But I think what I love so much about that song is it is kind of on its own. Like, it felt more unique, and I think it did introduce the Fine Line era very well. It kind of shows all the different elements that created Fine Line, which is definitely still some retro influence, some rock influence, but a little bit more pop influence as well, like alt pop sort of sounds, combined with the desire to make memorable music. Lights Up, I felt like, was a very good mixture of all the different little pieces that made that album. But regardless of that, it is a short and sweet song, and I love listening and paying attention to different instruments when I listen to it. Like, I don't ever pay attention to the same thing. I always find something different I want to focus on whenever I am listening to it. And finally, this song was a grower for me. It was not anywhere near my top when I first heard it, but it has been one that has grown on me significantly over time. And that is Golden. And knowing how As It Was sounds now, the fact that I love Golden so much makes me very excited for Harry's House, because I do feel like Golden and As It Was could kind of be together, like on the same kind of album. Golden is very cute lyrically, just like Adore You. I think it made a wonderful single that I wish would have kind of expanded more once again. But I think that the band just sounds so great on it, and it's a little bit whimsical. Like, I love that there's a lot happening in the arrangement, and oh my gosh, I love the part in the song at the end of the music bridge, and the guitar just comes in, like ripping in to then do the outro of the song. It's so nice. Like, it's just such a pleasant, bright song to listen to, and it's a no skip for me. Like, if Golden comes up on a playlist, I never skip it. It was just a grower in the biggest way for me, and hence why it is my number one song, and it's been my number one song for probably the past year or so, honestly. I just really, really wanted to make this video before this third album was released, because I have really high hopes. I do not think this new album is going to disappoint at all. And I am very excited to remake this entire list once this album has been released and I've listened to it for a long time. The beauty of music, like I always say, especially when I strongly like a catalog of music as much as I like Harry Styles music, there is no right or wrong answer in a personal top 10 favorites. So please let me know in the comments what your personal top 10 favorites are. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. And thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it until the very end, and until my next video. Bye.